Hello everyone, welcome to Lakshmi Study Room. This is the part 3 video in knowing about the plants. So in this video we will learn about the stem and what is stem and what are the parts present in the stem and what are the functions of the stem. All these things we should learn in this video. First observe the video and understand the functions and parts of the stem. The aerial part of the plant body above the ground is known as shoot system. Main axis of the shoot system is called as the stem. The shoot system consists of stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. Nodes are the parts of the stem where the leaf arises. The bud at the tip of the stem is known as the apical or terminal bud, and the buds at the axil of the leaves are called axillary buds. Root system consists of stem, leaves, and fruit, flowers, and fruits. And the stem grows above the soil and it grows towards the sunlight. It has a nodes and internodes. So nodes are the part of the stem where the leaf arises. The part of the stem between the two successive nodes is called internode. And the bud at the tip of the stem is known as apical or terminal bud, and the buds at the axil of the leaves are called axillary bud. So next, activity 4. Conduction of water. Conduction means transport of the water. That means how water should be transported from roots to branches of the plant. So for this experiment we need a small twig of balsam plant. If you don't have balsam plant, then we take amaranthus plant, that is Tottakora we can call it as a. So these plant and a glass of water and few drops of red ink. So these three uh, items we need to conduct this experiment. And what to do? So what to do? Place the small twig in the water that contain red ink. Okay. So what do you observe? After some time, the stem turn into a reddish color because the water will be absorbed absorbed and enter into the stem. Then the color of the stem is turned into a red color. So what do you learn? This is because the red ink is taken and transported by the stem upwards. That means the ink was absorbed the stem and it will be transported throughout the stem. So that's why the color of the stem will be turned into red color. See the functions of the stem. Okay. So the stem, what is the main function of the stem? Support the branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. Transport the water and minerals from the roots to upper aerial parts of the plant. That means branches, leaves, flowers, fruits. So all these things. And not only transport the water and minerals, but it also transport the food from the leaves to the other parts through the stem. Even they send the food materials to root also, and stores the food as in case of sugarcane. Take for example, so in sugarcane what we can eat? Stem, because the stem part will store the food. Some of the modifications of the stem. Here the main function of the stem is it supports the branches, leaves, flowers and fruits, and it transports the water and minerals from the roots to upper parts, and it also transports the food from the leaves to other parts of the stem. But sometimes the stem will perform some special action, special function, that is it can store the food. Some plants like potato, turmeric, garlic, ginger and sugarcane, they can store the food material in the stem, due to which the stem bulges in size. So the food stored in the stem. That's why the size of the stem will be increases. So that's why these are very thick. Okay. So generally we think what these are all tubes or roots. We can think like that because why we have a false appearance. But because the potato, the ginger, the turmeric, garlic, ginger, garlic, all these are grown under the soil. So that's why we have a false assume regarding these stems. But because this, if you observe carefully in the ginger and this potato, they have a small leaves are coming from these tubers. So because the stem has only buds. So that's why these are evidences for the stems. Actually, these are not roots. These are all modified roots. And the next one, leaf. Children, carefully observe this video and answer the questions. Okay, children? Let us observe the video. What is this plant? Do you know this plant? This is hibiscus plant. Let us learn about the structure of the leaf. So the main part of the leaf is leaf base, petiole, lamina and midrib. Okay. The first one is a lamina. The thin, flat, green portion of the leaf is called lamina. So there is a midrib, the long vein that present in the middle of the lamina, and veins are also there. The branches arising from the midrib and spread over all the lamina will be called as a veins. See, if you want to observe the leaves very clearly, if we reverse the leaf, the opposite side of the leaf, we can observe very clearly. Okay. So lamina, the thin and flat green portion of the leaf is called lamina, and midrib, the long vein that present in the middle of the lamina will be called as a midrib, and the branches arising from the midrib is called as a spread over all of the stack-like structure that connects the leaf to the stem of the plant is called petiole. This is a stack-like structure that connects the stem. Leaf connect to the stem with the help of petiole. Then leaf base, the lower part of the leaf that joins the leaf to the stem near the node. These are all the structure of the leaf. Okay. Carefully observe this video. With the help of this video, we will fill the table. Okay, children. See, what is this plant? We have already discussed with you. This is hibiscus plant. So the stem bears all the leaves, and the leaves are attached to the stem with the help of petiole. See, this is lamina, and the lines on the leaves are called veins. The long veins that are present in the middle of the lamina are called midrib. The branches arising from the midrib are called veins, and even finer divisions are called veinlets. So the arrangement of the veins in the lamina is called venation. So venation acts as a skeleton of the leaves and gives it a shape and support. And the leaves contains this type of venation will be called as a reticulate venation. See, what is this plant? This is a jasmine plant. So this plant is also has a midrib, and small veins are also arising from the midrib. So the shape of the leaf is a little bit oval shape, and the lamina, the edge of the leaf is smooth. Even hibiscus leaf has a slightly dentate edges, and it has a petiole. Jasmine plant has a petiole. With the help of petiole, it is attached to the stem. The next plant is what is this plant? Tulasi. So tulasi plant has which type of root system it is? Taproot system. The plants which have a reticulate venation. See, all these plants have a reticulate venation. The plants which have a reticulate venation, all these plants contain only taproot system only. So carefully observe the tulsi plant. See, the leaves are attached to the stem with the help of petiole. Even the leaves contains reticulate venation. In this venation, the midrib is present and the small veins are arranged from the midrib. So it contains petiole and the shape of the leaves is oval and the edges of the leaf is smooth. Grass plants. See, carefully observe these grass plants. Which type of root system it has? Fibrous root system. And observe the leaves. See, carefully observe the leaves. The leaves are generally linear in shape. And if you observe the venation of these leaves, the veins are arranged in the look like a parallel lines. So the veins are parallelly arranged with one another all over the lamina. So this type of venation will be called as a parallel venation because the veins are arranged in a parallel way. So almost all the plants which have a fibrous root system, so those plants contains only parallel venation. So here I show two types of grass plants. So these leaves, see, observe the leaves, only we can see clearly only midrib, but remaining all the veins are arranged in a parallel way. See, carefully observe these plants, these two grass plants. Okay, if we observe the petiole of this grass plants, part of the petiole is attached to the stem in the grass plants. That means we can't see the petiole clearly in grass plants. But careful observation of this video, the plants which have a parallel venation, those plants have a fibrous root system. The plants which have a reticulate venation, those plants have a taproot system. So all this, there is a relationship between the type of the venation and type of the root system. That means the plants which have a taproot system, they have a reticulate venation. The plants which have a fibrous root system, they have a parallel venation. So the first one is, where is the leaf attached to the stem? Where it is attached? The leaf is attached to the stem in the leaf base only. And what is the flat portion of the leaf called? The flat portion of the leaf is called lamina. So the entire part will be called as a lamina. What do you call the small line-like structures in the flat portion of the leaf? So what are these? These are all veins. This one is a midrib and these are all veins. And which part connects the leaf lamina with the stem? So the leaf will be connected to the stem with the help of petiole. So it will be called as a petiole. So the leaf contains leaf base. A stack-like structure will be called as a petiole and leaf lamina. See, all these are. So this one is a leaf base. The stack-like structure will be called as a petiole and the entire thin flat-like portion will be called as a lamina. So the next one is a activity 5. Are all the leaves same? No. Observe the leaves of the plants you collected in the activity 1 and how are they? Are all the leaves of the same size and shape? Compare the leaves of the plants collected in activity 1 and write your observations in the table 3. And I have shown already one video. Based on that video, you will answer all the questions. You can also draw the what you see in the shape and edge and columns of describing is difficult. So let us write the which plant you observed in this video. The first plant. Write the first plant. Name of the plant is a, what is one? That is one hibiscus. Hibiscus, we can locally call it as a mandara. So the leaf base, how it is, does it contain leaf base or not? Yes, it contains leaf base. And does it contain petiole or not? Yes, it contains petiole. Does it contain lamina or not? Yes, it contains lamina. Shape of the leaf is little bit oval. Okay. rectangle and oval, and edges of the leaf is dentate. That means the sheer edges of the leaves is like that only, so it will be called as a dentate. The next plant is jasmine. So you have already observed in this video. So the order of these plants is jasmine. Does it contain leaf base or not? Yes. Does it contain petiole or not? Yes. Does it contain lamina or not? Yes, it contains. And does it what is the shape of the leaf? It is contained little bit oval and rectangular. A rectangular oval, okay? So edges of the leaf, it has a smooth. So smooth edges. So next plant is what is the next plant? Tulasi. So Tulasi, next plant is Tulasi. So does it contain leaf base or not? Yes. Does it contain petiole or not? Yes. Does it contain lamina or not? Yes. The shape of the leaf is similar oval, and edges of the leaf slightly slightly toothed, very slightly toothed, okay? So the next plant is I don't know the name of the glass, so here we can write the grass plant 1 and grass plant 2, okay? Does it contain leaf base or not? Yes, it contain leaf base. Does it contain petiole or not? Yes, it contain petiole. So does it contain lamina or not? Yes, it contain lamina. The shape of the leaf is linear. So the shape of the leaf is generally the grass plants have a linear shape of the leaves, and the edges of the leaf a little bit they are rough, so it will be called as a hairy. And the next plant is a grass plant 2. Okay, children. So grass plant 2. So does it contain or not leaf base? Yes, it contain leaf base. Does it contain petiole or not? Yes. Shape of the leaf is linear, and the edges of the leaf is hairy and rough also. They are very sharp in the edges. So what are the common parts you observed in the leaves? What you observe? So all the leaves has a leaf base, a lamina and petiole. See, these are all the common parts. Leaf base, all the leaves have a leaf base, petiole, lamina. But the shape and size of the leaves are different in different plants. Do all the leaves have the same shape? No, all the leaves do not have a same shape. Okay. So the next one is a venation. We have a two types of venation, that is parallel venation and reticulate venation. So put a leaf under a white sheet of paper or a sheet in your notebook. Hold the tip of your pencil flat and rub it on the paper. Do you get any impression? So yes, already you have played with the coins and compass box. So you put the box and put a paper on it, and you will rub it on the pencil. Then they will be formed their images on this paper. So in this pattern similar to that on the leaf? Yes. So these lines on the leaves are called veins. The long vein that present in the middle of the lamina is called midrib. The branches arising from the midrib are called veins, and the even final divisions are called veinlets. The arrangement of the veins in the lamina is called venation. So venation acts as a skeleton of the leaf, and it gives proper support and shape to the leaves. And let us observe the activity 7. Type of the venation. Here, which leaves they gave? This one is a people leaf, and this one is a grass leaf. So this type of venation will be called as a reticulate venation, because it look like a web or net like it will form a net like structure throughout the lamina. But these venation, these veins are, how these look like? These are parallel to each other. The lines are parallel to each other. This type of venation will be called as a parallel venation. So let us, we have already observed one video. Then write here in your own. So first one, what is the first plant? What is the first plant? hibiscus plant. And what type of venation do you observe in hibiscus plants? There is reticulate venation. So you will observe what type of venation there? Reticulate venation. So the next plant is a jasmine. So in jasmine leaf, what type of venation it contains? It will also contains reticulate venation. So next plant is a tulasi. So tulasi plant has a reticulate venation. So the plants which have a reticulate venation, those plants contain which type of root system? Taproot system. So the next one is a grass plant one, and for example grass plants, all the examples of grass plants, all the grains like jowar, jowar, paddy, all these are grass plants. So in grass plant one, what type of venation do you observe? Parallel venation. In grass plant 2, what type of venation do you observe? Grass plant 2, what type of venation do you observe? It is also have a parallel venation. So the plants which have a parallel venation, what type of root system they have? A fibrous root system they have. Okay. So compare the how compare the now compare the results obtained table 2 and table 4. So what type of roots are there in plants having parallel venation in their leaves? So the plants which have a parallel venation, what type of roots they have? Fibrous roots. What type of roots are there in plants having web-like venation? So these plants have a taproot system. So is there any relation between the root system and venation? Yes, there is a relation between the venation and the root system. The plants with taproot system, they have a web-like or reticulate venation. The plants with have a parallel venation, they have a fibrous roots, have a parallel venation. So next, so stomata observation. Take a fresh leaf and peel out the layer of the leaf and place it on a slide and put a drop of water on it and observe it under microscope. Try to find some. So for this I took Rio leaf. Okay. So there are bean shaped parts. See, these are bean shaped parts. These two are. So compare what you see under the figure within the bean shaped parts that you see in the leaf are called guard cells. We can't see these cells with our eye. So if you want to observe the stomata in with the help of microscope only. So the aperture in between the guard cell is called, it is called as a stomata. Aperture means hole. The hole between the two guard cells is called stomata. It functions like our nose. So what's the main function of nose? Exchange of takes place in our nose. Similarly, exchange of gases takes place in stomata. So between the plant and the atmosphere. Okay. So transpiration. So what is transpiration? So do you know the excess water is removed in the form of water vapor from the leaf surfaces? To understand this, do the following activity. So transpiration. So if you want to know the transpiration activity, so select a watered plant that has been growing in the sun. So take this plant and later enclose this one branch of a plant with a polythene bag and tie its mouth. And take another polythene bag and same size and tie its mouth without keeping any plant. Okay, we want two polythene bags, one polythene bag tie in the branch and one bag without any plant, which should be tied with the thread. So and keep the both the polythene bags in the sun. After few hours, observe the inner surface of the bag bags. Okay, so what do you see in these bags? What do you see? we see some droplets in the polythene bag that ties on the plant. See, in the we see some droplets in the bag but that tie in the plant, but we do not observe any droplets in the empty bag. Okay, so are there any droplets of water in the any of the bags? There is no any water droplets, but here there is a droplets. How do you think they are formed there? So in the process of the transpiration, there are lots of water will be evaporated from the plants through stomata. It will be called as a transpiration. Let us understand clearly. So plants release excess water in their body through stomata and some other parts as well. So in plants have a stomata and like other parts are also there, like lenticels in the stem and aerial roots in the mangrove plants. So this process of releasing water in the form of vapor by leaves is called transpiration. So the process of releasing water in the form of vapor by leaves is called transpiration. These vapor condense and are seen as a droplets in the polythene bag. Think what will happen if transpiration does not take place in the plants. Then what will happen if the transpiration is not there? We don't get any rains properly. So another leaf function is the preparation of food for the plant by the process of photosynthesis. So we will discuss more about in this in the next class. See first the functions of the leaf. Leaves plays an important role in the life of plants. They help in the respiration with the help of stomata. They carry out transpiration with the help of stomata. In plants' respiration, they also absorb oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. They absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide like us. In transpiration, they release lots of water vapor in the through stomata in the from the leaves. So prepared food by the process of photosynthesis. But in photosynthesis process, they absorb carbon dioxide and they released oxygen. Okay, children? See, plants absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide in respiration. And in photosynthesis process, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. That's why we will get lots of oxygen from the plants. So we have to plant more plants. Okay, do you know Pottikallu? So in this food items, they used leaves of jackfruit, jack plant. So Pottikal is a traditional food in Konaseema of Godavari district. Leaves of jackfruit tree are used in its preparation. They make cups with the leaves. That means they collect the leaves from the jackfruit tree and they will prepare one basket like structures or cups like structure and fill these cups with idli batter and made a black gram and rice rava and idli rava. These cups are steamed to get pottikallu. Like we make idlis in idli cooker, but they make idli rava and pour into jackfruit cups and they will be boiled in the steam. So they can be taken with any chutney like that of idli. Like idli, we can eat this potikallu also. They are healthy and delicious with jackfruit flavor. So these potikallu have a jackfruit flavor. So many plants around us have a root, stem, leaf and flowers. All the parts of the plants carry out the some functions essential for the whole plant. There are diverse forms of the plant in nature and plants adapt themselves to the different conditions in nature in different ways. In higher classes you will learn how the plants adapt and suit for different conditions. For examples, while stems usually support the plant, in plants they adapt and store the food. So the stem will give support and support to the plant parts like branches, leaves, flowers, fruits, and sometimes the stem will modified and it will helps to store the food also. And in plants or in trees, what's the most beautiful part? Flower. So the flower is another important part in the plant. Without flower, we can't get any fruits and seeds. So flower is the most important part in the plant. And the flower has a colorful parts called petals. So in 7th class, you will learn about the flower and its parts. Okay. So these petals, what the main, how they attract the beautifully, how they are in very beautiful, because they want to attract the insects for pollination and produce fruits. We grow plants for colorful flowers which give beauty to the nature. These are the natural colors. We will learn about more about flowers in the next class. Okay. And what we have learned in this video, the important parts of the plant is root, stem, leaf and flowers. And there are two types of root system, taproot system and fibrous system. And dicot plants have a taproot system, and whereas monocot plants have a fibrous root system. So root helps to fix the plant to the soil and absorb the water and minerals. So and the stem bears branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. The stem transport the water and minerals from the roots to upper parts of the plant and food from the leaves to the other parts. Leaf contains leaf base, petiole, lamina are all the parts of a leaf, and there are two types of venation in the leaves, that is reticulate and parallel venation. So leaves are involved in the preparing of food. They also help in exchange of gases and transpiration. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Please like my videos, share my videos to your friends and subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon.